YouTube was good. Finna show y'all how to mix and master in FL Studio. And I know a little basic mix and mastering. We doing parallel compression, EQing. We rolling off highs, we cutting off lows. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so here go my song. It's called Rat a Tat Tat. I'm about to go ahead and play it with the effects on here and then play it raw. So with the effects, here you go. Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidnap them, got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie, don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidnap them, got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie. Alright, that's with the effects. Let me go ahead and turn the effects off. Normally I had these labeled, these not labeled, so that's my fault. Forgive me for that. Alright, I'm about to play it so I can see what level's at. Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidnap them, got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie, don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky. Alright, let me play it raw. Here you go. Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidnap them, got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie, don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky. Alright, so you can hear the difference. Alright, so let's get straight into it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to EQ. So you want to come here and you want to cut off your lows, cut off the low end on your voice, because if you leave the low end in your voice, it's gonna clash with the 808 and kick that's inside of the beat. So you just want the 808 and kick to be the only low end in the song, unless it's just in your preference to have a low end sounding song or a low end sounding vocal. So you want to roll off your low end. For my voice, it's normally between 60 and 100. So depending on how I feel, I would drop my EQ depending on how I feel. Like I said, my voice normally 60 to 100. Yours should be different. So the best way to experiment on how to get the low end out your voice would be to come here and just rap and play with the frequencies. So after you got the low end out your voice, you want to raise up some highs. So normally around 1,000 range, you get a good clear sounding vocal, you get more punch. And then once you raise up that, and don't just look at mine and then go and apply yours the same. Actually take time out and learn your voice. I know my voice, so I can easily run through this. But for you, you want to take time out and learn your voice and look at your voice spectrum. Look at your spectrum on the EQ spectrum. Look at your voice on the EQ spectrum. But right here, this is where you get the syllables, a lot of highs. The breath. So you come here and raise it up in the breath. It's really about the 12,000 range. And here you want to raise it up about 8 dB, just so you can get the breath. And then typically you want to pull this down a little bit. I already got it pulled down because it's like a radio. Let's make your voice sound a little boxy. Over here too, you want to cut down about 150, 250. You want to cut down a little 250 too. Give it, just to get some of that boxy out of there. Give it the professional sound. So once you EQ, let me go ahead and just throw it on there so y'all can hear the difference with the EQ. Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt. Alright, I'm gonna turn it off. Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on. I'm gonna turn it on one more time. Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I see it's a real slight difference. You don't want to add too much on there and over EQ your vocals. It's just very slight. It's a slight difference that you can hear. But you want all your sounds and your EQs and just your effects to be slight. You don't want to overpower them, because you wanna be able to stack your effects up, and you can't stack them if each one is overpowered. Is you have a over processed mix then, so you don't want to over process your sound. So with that being said, the next step you want to do is compress. Now with compression, I'm not real. I'm not the best when it comes to compression. The compression that I use a friend compression. He taught me how to compress back when I didn't know how to mix and master. He showed me his compression settings for FL Studio, and I just kept it. I still use it to this day. But compression normally works as it will keep your levels the same, your voice level. So if you're talking low in the mic at a point in your verse, the compression job is to bring the lowest part of your song up and make it even with the rest of your voice, or vice versa. If you want it to be low and parts is too high, you can turn down the high parts in your song and bring it to the low voice, vice versa, depending on how you want to use the compression. But that's how the compression is used. So let's hear it with the compressor.
Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidnap them, got your mans now. Turn them.
Alright, let's take compression off.
Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidnap them, got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie.
Alright, so that's the compressor. So after the compressor, I add my noise gate, to take all the noise out. The microphone noise. Might hear some clicks and some pops. Normally the clicks and pops would be in the beginning and the end of the take, but the noise gate will remove anything that's in between that. So you can just cut off. You just come here and manually cut out the clicks and the pops, just dragging it. Turn your snap to grid to none. So, because if you turn it to a half beat, let's say to a half beat, it just go by what it already knows. But by none, it just goes by what you tell it. So, the noise gate. Let me show y'all. Just turn the noise gate on. Let me go here. It says pause right now because it's not playing. It's not on, but there you go. So I just turned my threshold all the way down. Not too low to the point where it's not working, but not too high to the point where it's cutting off the low sounds in your take. If you turn this up too high, your voice would be choppy. Let me give you an example. Okay. Let me say this as a preset. Say preset as rat. Alright, now let me turn this up. Now here you go. The example of when you turn your noise gate up too loud, what happens?
Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidding.
You can't really hear it because I got some effects on there already. But if it was just if it wasn't pre-mixed, and if it was just raw vocals, you wouldn't be able to hear it at all. It would be cutting out, and then you have to come back in here and turn it down. So make sure it's not up too high, so you don't gotta come back in and turn it down. All right. So after that, I'm gonna throw a limiter on there. Limiter is basically, it turns the volume up without distorting it to a certain extent, because you can distort it with a limiter, but it's better than turning up the volume knob within the channel.
Nothing got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie.
Alright, so example without it.
Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidding, nothing got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie. Don't need oil, let the butter melt.
Alright, now example with it.
Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidding, nothing got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie. Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30.
Alright, so there you go for the main vocal, for the hook on the main vocal. See, remember when I talked about compression? All right, so compressor, it will balance your levels out, right? But if you want to be a little bit more advanced and have better sounding music than your friends, then you got to use a parallel compressor. So what a parallel compressor is, a parallel compressor, it is you routing your main channel to a auxiliary channel to add more effects into it, and it'll make it more crisp through the mix. It'll make your vocals stand out through the mix when you parallel compress. So let me give you an example of what parallel compression is.
Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30.
All right, see, look, before I do parallel compression, before I jump into that, I got two vocal takes right here for the hook. Okay, so EQ, it's the same effects on here for the first take. The only thing that's different is the stereo shaper. So let you hear it. So without the stereo shaper,
Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidnapped them, got your man.
all right, now with the stereo shaper.
Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kidnapped them, got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie. Don't need oil, let the butter melt. Send it to Kentucky, make her squirt.
All right, so you can hear what the stereo shaper do is quite obvious. It basically just send your sounds to the back, but that's just what I wanted it to do. You can come here and change the effects and make it do what you want it to do, but I wanted to send the sounds to the back since I already got a main vocal, because you can see when this with the stereo shaper not on there, but with both the takes, it just sound like one of them fighting to be the lead vocal. But with the stereo shaper on there, it's obvious which one is the lead and which one is the back. So with that being said, let's move forward to the next part of the song, which would be the verse.
Them got your mans now. Turn them to a junkie. See me rolling, bitch. I can't.
Hold on, let me see what's going on here.
Rolling, bitch.
Whoa.
Rolling, bitch.
Whoa. Did the verse get deleted, man? Hold up. I think I accidentally deleted when I was loading it up. Let me see. Save changes. No. Let me pull it back up. We're gonna start where we left off at. First got deleted when I was loading the FL. Here we go, right here. Alright, so now we in the verse.
You see me rolling, bitch. Niggas.
Let me play it without the effects.
You see me rolling, bitch. Niggas.
Alright, so here we go, right here. It's the same effects, pretty much. It's the same effects. Let me play it without it.
You see me rolling, bitch. Niggas act like bitches can't condone shit. Nigga, you don't need no fucking comb to get your fro pick. I be with some young wild niggas that'll blow.
Alright, now let me turn on the same effects. The effects are the same. The same effects: EQ, compressor, noise gate, limiter. Nah, this is how it sound with the effects.
You see me rolling, bitch. Niggas act like bitches can't condone shit. Nigga, you don't need no fucking comb to get your fro pick. I be with some young wild niggas that'll blow shit. You be with some brag head niggas that don't know shit. I know better.
Alright. So now let's get back to parallel compression, cause this is when it come into play. Okay, now you see here, this is the main take right here. Let me mark it. Main verse. This is the main verse right here. So what I did with the main verse, I parallel compressed it. Okay, so I took the main vocal and I routed it to the channel right next to it, right here, and I threw a sound goodizer on there. So what that do is it gives you the effect as if I recorded, as if I said the same thing twice. So pull the second one down, and it'll make your vocal more crisp, and it'll stand out throughout the mix. So pull the second take down because you don't want them to collide and make it hard to tell which one is the lead vocal. You want it to be pretty obvious which one is the lead, but the second one there is just be for ear candy. So let's move forward.
You see me rolling, bitch. Niggas act like bitches can't condone it.
Let's get to the ad-libs. I believe this is the ad-libs right here, track 7.
You see me rolling.
Track 7.
I can't condone it.
Okay, yeah. I got the same ad-libs right here. Got it parallel compressed to a reverb. You see how I got it on a reverb?
They don't know shit.
You come down here. You see, and you can control the output to the reverb. Right click to unsolo the channel. So you can control the amount of reverb here. You know, a lot of times I'll come here, I'll pull up my wet knob, I'll balance this out, size it up, turn this into a square. I don't know why I didn't do it here. And just mess with the high cut, mess with the low cut. Now if you want to get real technical, it's a math problem that you can do to discover how much decay. It's the delay. Yeah, the delay, how much delay you should use for reverb. I believe is the beat tempo divided by 1,000. I believe so. Look it up and comment down below. Tell me the equation. But yeah, so we can move forward to the beat right here. I do EQ the beat no matter where I got it from. If it's a beat that I bought, if it's a beat from YouTube, if somebody gave it to me for free, if I made the beat myself, I always EQ the beat because it's different. People's voice is different. And like I said, you don't want the beat to collide, or you don't want your voice to collide with the lows of the beat. So let me play it. Let me play the beat without the effects.
You see me rolling, bitch.
It's the beat without the effects. Alright, turn the beat with the effects. Okay, so that's the beat without the effects. We'll beat with the effects.
My boots lace, my gun cock, waiting on them 2 letters. G.O. I stay on that, push a nigga head to the side like a baseball cap. You know my last name, money, I don't play about that. Looking for some rats in the club where the rats at. Don't think shit sweet, I got that pole rat-a-tat-tat. We'll fuck you up. Threw them niggas off the party, them boys drunk as fuck. Kick some hoes off the crib, they was lame as fuck. Every time I take a L, I bounce back with Dougie oil. Let the buttermilk, send it to Kentucky, make her squirt and pass out. Every time she fuck me, I got 30 clips on 30 clips. Since y'all niggas jump me, kid, nothing.
Alright, thanks for watching this video. If you would like to see more content, like and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see.